Big news happening on the FSU campus this noon hour. It seems as though star quarterback Jameis Winston will not return to the university after all, according to his dad. Good afternoon. I'm Kelly Bartoli. Thank you for joining us here on WTXL Midday. Winston's father making the announcement this morning via ESPN that his son will not return to Florida State University. Instead, Jameis Winston will enter the NFL draft. Jameis has yet to come forward himself and declare he will enter. The 2013 Heisman winner had 2 years of college eligibility left. Now, previous reports said Winston would wait until after the College Football Playoff National Championship to announce his decision. Now, ESPN NFL draft insider Mel Kiper Jr. is rating Winston as the second best quarterback behind 2014 Heisman winner Marcus Mariota. Draft analysts projecting Winston will go to the Tampa Bay Bucks. The NFL draft begins April the 30th in Chicago. An official announcement is expected this afternoon. We'll continue to bring you the latest on air and online at WTXL.tv. Meanwhile, the reward is going up for information on the vehicle vandals who targeted FSU players. Mike Maurer, a salesman at Auto Showcase of Tallahassee, adding $500, bringing that reward up to $1,500. The owners of Madison Social and Garnet and Gold also teamed up to pledge that original $1,000. FSU PD asking for any information that could lead to an arrest. Other news here on this midday, 4 construction companies now facing fines following the death of a 25-year-old employee last year. That employee was working on a dorm at FSU when he was crushed by an elevator carriage that was not completely closed in. According to our media partners at the Tallahassee Democrat, OSHA found a window frame opening in the building under construction was left uncovered that exposed workers to that hazard. OSHA has issued citations to Culpeper Construction Company, Miller's Plumbing, Benchmark Erectors, and Fleck Exterior Systems, all those companies based here in Tallahassee. Happening right now on WTXL Midday, and in just over an hour, Senator Dwight Bullard, chairman of the Florida Legislative Black Caucus, will hold a press conference in front of the Senate chambers. It's about excessive force by police all across the state. Bullard is seeking a clearer understanding after several recent incidents with law enforcement, including last year when a Tallahassee police officer tased a local grandmother, a case that ended up getting some national attention. That conference kicking off at 1:30 today. We will have continuing coverage right here on WTXL ABC 27. Moving now to Bainbridge, authorities offering a reward to find those responsible for arsons in the area. $10,000 now being offered for any information after 3 unoccupied homes were set on fire January the 1st and 2nd. The homes, all of them adjoining, are located on the 1000 block of East Water Street. One of those houses, though, a total loss. Anyone with information asked to call the Georgia Arson Control Hotline. That number is 1-800-282-5804. Lowndes County officials still trying to identify a woman who was struck and killed by a driver yesterday morning. That unidentified victim hit around 7 o'clock. The driver, John Bradfield, says he thought he had hit a deer, but once authorities arrived, they found the woman a short distance from the scene. She's being described as a white female in her mid-20s, maybe 30 years old, about 5'5" tall. If you have any information, contact Georgia State Patrol at 229-333-5215. Looking at more headlines from up and down Florida now. Police say a 15-year-old girl and her 11-year-old sister charged with premeditated murder in the death of their older brother. Authorities in Columbia County say 15-year-old Ariel Cornegay claimed the older brother beat her and locked her in a room. According to a police report, Ariel said she shot the 16-year-old boy after he fell asleep. Ariel and her 11-year-old sister expected to appear in court today. The children's parents were also arrested and charged with child neglect. Police say they were out of town on a truck driving job when that shooting occurred. Switching gears here on this Wednesday afternoon, getting our first look outside with meteorologist Max Sapera standing by. We started this morning pretty cold,
right?
Even though it looks kind of nice outside.
Yeah, right now it's not half bad actually. We're back in the upper 50s. One last mild day before temperatures really take a plunge here as we go into the overnight hours. And going into your Thursday and Friday, we look rather on the cold side. But right now, pretty pleasant temperatures in the 50s. We're at 57 in Tallahassee and a string of mid-50s in South Georgia. Current temperature 57, but the winds starting to pick up. There we go. North at 8 miles per hour, bringing in that cool air, and that's going to be the trend as we go into the next couple of hours here. Plenty of sunshine to go around with those high, thin clouds making their way back into the region. Those will thin out and clear out as we go into the overnight hours, and the winds will really start to pick up as we head into your overnight. So keep that in mind. There are wind chill factors as we're going into the overnight hours. That's also why we have wind chill advisories through late tomorrow morning. Also hard freeze warnings in effect for the entire viewing area here. That goes again until late tomorrow morning as well. So we're not alone with the cold. Of course, we've been talking about it all week long. The cold weather spilling down from the upper Midwest, making its way into the region over the next couple of days here. You can see as far south as North Georgia and north parts of Alabama, a little bit of flakes flying at this hour. So that gives you an idea of how cold this air mass is. Definitely not atypical, but you get one or two air masses like this a season, and that's pretty much it. So for the rest of today, soak in the mild air because it does not last long. Temperatures will top off in the upper 50s and low 60s before quickly tumbling after the sun sets as well. We'll let you know how cold we get tonight and how long this cold snap lasts. Again, you're going to want to bundle up and tune in the next couple of minutes. Kelly?
Thank you, Max. Taking a look at news from across the world right now. French security forces hunting for 3 gunmen who carried out a noontime attack on a satirical weekly newspaper in Paris, leaving 12 people dead. The victims include the newspaper's editor and a police officer who had been assigned as his bodyguard in the wake of the threats against the newspaper. A second police officer was killed as the gunmen made their getaway. According to a video filmed from a nearby building, one of the men shouted they had, quote, avenged the Prophet Muhammad, but no one yet has claimed responsibility. The French government calling this a terrorist attack. They have since raised the country's security alert system to its highest level. Search crews have found the tail of AirAsia Flight 8501. The discovery is critical since it could hold the jet's black box recorder. Meanwhile, another body has also been pulled from the Java Sea, now bringing the total number of recovered victims to 40. The airline says it'll offer family members roughly $100,000 in compensation. That's per passenger. Back here in the U.S., gas prices may still be going down, but President Obama warning it's not going to last forever. Speaking to the Detroit News, the president urged Americans to think about saving money at the pump. He says doing so not only helps your finances, but the environment as well. The president speaking ahead of his visit to Michigan today. He's there to discuss the state of the auto industry.